Here with Adam Collins, head coach, University of Charleston women's basketball. Coach Collins, you're in the almost in your end of the 5-game, 10-day period here. It's been tough on the girls, tough on you probably as well as a coach. Tell us how you stay focused, stay fresh, along with your team and probably your coaching staff too.
It's a difficult time, particularly school started back up, and you get to the end of the season, which means the pressure of the games are getting bigger because now the outcome of the games is going to affect who's finishing where at the end of the year. So a loss carries maybe a little bit more weight than it did, in early November. One thing we talked about after the game last night was for them to take the day. Today's an off day for us, and unless they had dire homework that had to be done that was due that day or a paper that was due that day, for them to go to class and then outside of going to class, just take the whole day to go be a kid, go be a college student, go to the mall, go to the movies, go hang out with your friends, boyfriend, whatever it is that you do in your spare time. But don't touch a basketball, don't think about basketball. And again, unless you have like major schoolwork that just has to be done, even give yourself a break on that. Just take a whole day off. That's one thing, student athletes, particularly, basketball this time of year, people don't understand is like they don't get weekends off. They don't get Saturday, they're traveling somewhere. Sunday, they're practicing for a game on Monday. And so, Tuesday, I know the rest of the world's going on and classes in session and people want papers turned in and everything else, but that might be the only day of the week that our girls don't have anything to do. So I just wanted them to the best of their ability to take the whole day to basically do nothing and just hang out. So hopefully that'll refresh them a little bit and we'll be ready to go for our next game.
Yeah, you're heading into the back end of the season here. Currently sitting fifth at 9-6 in the MEC. Talk about how important these next 7 games are at the end of the season. How important it is to finish in that top 4, get that first round bye going into the postseason.
Yeah, I think it's a big deal. Obviously, you're wanting to guarantee yourself a shot at the Civic Center. That's a great accomplishment, and even if you get a home game in the first round of the tournament, I think that all the teams in our league, with the exception of maybe Glenville, there's really not much of a difference the rest of the way down. There's some teams at the bottom of our league that have some players and have some ability and can step up and beat you. So you want to try to get a bye so that you just guarantee yourself a shot to be in the Civic Center and maybe get a little extra day's rest and, time to prepare for your opponent. So finishing the top 4 is a big deal. And then, you're trying to finish, I think everybody's shooting for a second or third slot is where you want to be at, because that takes you away from, Glenville until the championship game if you're fortunate to get there, and that's, I think everybody wants to try to stay away from that. When you play a style like Glenville does, I think on tournament championship day, hey, they're going to run and press you and you're going to get shots. And, if you roll the balls out and you start making a bunch of shots that day, you'll have a good chance. So you want to try to stay away from them as much as possible until the end. And so I think that second and third slot's where everybody's really pushing for. But we got to, play well here. We lost one the other day to West Liberty by 1 at the buzzer, and that would have put us up into third with a chance to move into second. And so it's going to be important that we take care of the business that we need to. All the games are important, but obviously, we're sitting tied right now, right around that area. We have games versus Urbana and West Virginia State still to play, and both those teams are right where we are right now. So I think those two, whoever can take care of the business that they feel they're supposed to take care of against the other teams, and then, the teams that win those 2 games will probably be the team that finishes in the top 4.
Yeah, so you're 5-2 against your next 7 opponents. You played them earlier in the season. Do you think 5-2 gets you into that second or third spot, or is you got to pull an upset?
I like 6-1. I think 6-1 really puts you in there. 5-2 could put you in there with some help. 4-3 could put you in there with some help. But what we always talk with the girls about is trying not to have any help from anybody. You want to be in control of your own destiny. And I do think, obviously, strange things can happen, but I think, not having broke down, we've had some games been canceled, so there's been some games that haven't even been played yet. So it's hard to really get a true feel for the standings, but I do feel that, hey, if we were 6-1, I think mathematically, if you look at it, that we would lock ourselves in to that third or fourth spot, one of those 2 spots. If we were to go 6-1, we would be in the Civic Center, I think, with a bye. And if we go 5-2, I think it might take someone to beat somebody, kind of like the NFL playoffs. You get down to the end. You need a win and or tie or this to get in. I think if we go 6-1, we're just in. I think we're in. And if we go 5-2, I think we're needing 5-2 and something from someone else. So the good thing for us is it's in our shoes. It's on our plate, and we just have to take care of our business. So.
Yep. You've changed up the lineup a little bit these last few games. Brought some folks that started earlier in the season off the bench. Bench production's gone up a good bit because of that. Is that something you planned, or is something that's happened because of injury? Or talk us through that a little bit.
Well, the key word for us this whole year has been consistency. And unfortunately, with injury and illnesses, we've not had a lot of consistency. So when we started and we were going in preseason practices, we had a lineup that we thought would be our lineup. And then we had, young lady tear up her knee before, the first game of the year. And so we had to make a change. And then we had another girl break her hand. And so we had to make another change. And then that group, played pretty well. And then as we started to get people healthy back and different things like that, we just tinkered with some things, still looking, hey, is this that lineup that we thought everybody's finally healthy? That was the lineup we thought at the beginning of the year should be our lineup. Should we look to go with that? And, some people have, played well. Like when they've gotten an opportunity, they played well. And so maybe some people that were starting, other people overcame them because of their play. But really the biggest one, it makes it look big because there's two of them. But Sharice Lockhart was the bigger one. And what that really boiled down to is she had gotten a knee bruise and needed to sit out a game. And Kayla Dozier filled in and did well. And superstition in me says we're going to stay with the same starting lineup as long as we're winning. And we went down to West Liberty, and Kayla Dozier played extremely well again. So even though we lost at West Liberty, I didn't necessarily feel that Kayla had done anything to lose what she had gotten. And Sharice is a great player for us. She's been doing a good job. But last night we played her at the two some, get her off the ball. We let Kayla play the point guard. And, it's just Sharice is a scorer, and Kayla's a little bit more of a manager. She manages the game for us the way we like it. And so we're, trying to put Sharice in more opportunity to score. So some of it's been tinkering with lineups, and some of it's just been because of injuries and stuff, and people find their way here and there. And so we basically have right now about 9 girls that any one of the 9 could probably start at the whatever her respective positions. It wouldn't be much of a difference in the other person. And so it just kind of decides on who's playing well. So when we say, hey, we got 25 points off the bench last night, it also came from our leading scorer. So just kind of more of a fluke that she was on the bench than anything.
Yeah, she seems a bit more fresh too, maybe because of the rest due to the injury and not being out on the court some, so it may help her down the stretch as well, getting a little bit of her legs back.
Yeah, I think so, and I think some of it too is, the point guard position, it's kind of like a quarterback position. There's a lot that you have to think about, and it's stressful, and it's mentally stressful, and Sharice is a natural scorer and can really score, and we need for her to score, and then we also need for her when she's playing point guard to get other people involved, and that a lot of time is a lot. I got to be thinking score 18 or 19 and find my places to get to the rim, but I also got to find other people. And I think some of last night when she was playing off the ball, and all you have to do is think about taking your shots when you get your shot and not worry so much about getting other people involved, I think freed her mind up a little bit, freshened her mind up a little bit on not having to think so much about what was going on. So that's something we'll explore going down the stretch here. It's something we've talked about here. She actually probably would have started the other point guard not torn her knee up in the first game of the year. Sharice probably would have started it, in the other one. So that was something we knew a long time ago, and then it's just kind of worked its way back out now that we've gotten to later in the year.
Okay. All right, Coach. Well, good luck this weekend. You got Thursday against Wesleyan, and then you travel to Glenville on Saturday. So good luck. Bring us a win on Thursday here at home and knock off that top 10 team in Glenville.
I appreciate it.
All right.